On this episode of Cooped Up, I'm joined again by Harry Papp. Harry Papp's a co-host with me on the 4 Point Pod and a former high school president. So yeah, bigwig out here.
Alrighty, man. So Harry Papp, how you doing, man? I know you started to tell me about the long day that's been going on. And excuse Mr. Papp, he's eating right now. We have been struggling to find time. Right now, I am currently putting off a 6-page paper that I probably should have wrote more than one day before, but let's excuse that. And let's just let Harry Papp talk about his day.
See how Cooper is willing to sacrifice that, but
Yeah.
I can't even sacrifice my buffalo chicken wrap from the Caskin Flagon.
I mean, priorities: food, school. Food, school. Yeah.
I think most teenage boys would agree on that. Cooper.
Yeah.
We're not.
Especially when the class is like religion. You know, a lot of the time it's just like, fuck, do I want to learn about Hindu today?
That's a really good thing about religion is the food. All the potlucks in CCD.
See, if it was in person, yeah, or if it were any religion like that, the only benefit of taking a religion class in college is that you get to see some Catholic people explode. Like when they
How so?
Because they'll start being like, religion was just made by each society to their own views. Boom! First day, just like bombs exploding in a little Catholic boy's head. Just he's like, no, it's fucking not. It's real, and it's just like, well, she's gonna challenge that. And she did a really good job. I think I told you this before, but first day, you read how like the different people during 9/11 who were heroes in their certain sectors of religion, like no matter how extreme they are. So, in including that, you got to do like the hijackers, because technically to them, they were doing a good thing in their religion. And that gets a Zoom call real hot the first day.
And in a Zoom, I know I forgot it's in a Zoom call. That's funny.
Oh, yeah. And especially because if you say something that she doesn't agree with, like this lady, she doesn't shy away. She'll just like, she won't. She'll just kick you the fuck out.
Really? No shit.
She'll just be like, sayonara. My buddy one day spoke up and was like, isn't that all just an opinion then? Like, isn't every strong belief then a religion? And he was like, then Nazis. And like, she didn't like that he went there. And it was just like, boom. He was like, what happened? I was like, it said you left the room. And he was like, I definitely didn't leave.
No shit. You think some, at least like on like the more religious side, you think, I don't know, at least something would kick into them. I feel like, you see it with the generation of kids today, I guess, where this generation is way less religious than even our parents' generation was.
Oh yeah, yeah, way. Really, and like it goes like we were reading this thing about this dude who came to visit America in like the 60s from like a Muslim culture, and he was so appalled by the fact that like after like people were just in church for a wedding, you go straight to like a reception where you have where you just dance. And I'm like, yeah, now what would he think about people like doing body shots at a wedding? You know what I mean? Like some weddings get a little crazier. Like he was like, I was so appalled by the men just dancing with random women. I'm like, oh fuck, you should go to some other shit.
When I was little and my parents would say like they're going to a wedding, I would always know they're hitting it hard tonight.
Yeah.
I feel like weddings can, they're just legendary.
And then now you go to like, I would say, if I were to guess, probably by the way that people respond in the class, say like 75% of people think this whole religion thing's bullshit. Like their questions are trying to be like, is this bullshit? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe not 75%. Maybe that's more. It's 75% of the people who are asking questions, because those are the people who want to be like, wait. Like, I got one buddy who's like big conspiracy, like thinks everything's a conspiracy kind of thing. And he's very quick to be like say anything that'll be like, but have you ever thought about it this way? And she's just like, no, every time.
No shit.
Yeah. But
That's-
wait.
Honestly, I wouldn't join. I wouldn't enroll in a class called religion.
Oh, you
I
don't have a
expect
choice.
that.
You
Oh,
want
do
to
you
know
have
what I
to?
didn't? Oh, dude,
Oh,
because remember me, it's Manhattan and me. We were joined at the hip when I got the acceptance letter. I only got that in West Virginia. Not too hard of a fucking choice.
I know.
And so, and especially for wanting to do stand up, you're like, do I want to do it to a bunch of cousins? No offense, but or to a city. Come on. Yeah, easy to
Yeah, actually
But
being.
I didn't fucking realize that it's one of like 4, what does it mean, Lasallian colleges in the country, which means like it's full like Catholic and like religion is like infused
Yeah,
in the culture of the school.
like Fordham is another one, right?
I don't even think they're full because like for certain like I got to go to mass I think twice this year
No shit.
for requirement.
Only twice though.
Yeah, only twice, but you got to think I've never outside of a wedding and a funeral, I've never been to a church inside this country.
It's not that hard.
No. I'm just worried like I'll eat the bread at the wrong time because like I went to a bar mitzvah one time and like so they were coming down the row with the what's it called? The Torah. It's
The
like
Torah.
yeah, it's like it's supposed to be like a big scroll, but it's got like a whole bunch of shit it sits on and stuff. It's really sacred. It's like it's like the Bible, except there's only one per kind of. I don't know if I'm
Yeah.
right at all, but
No,
this
yeah,
is
it's
what I
the Jew.
remember
Yeah.
as like a 12-year-old going to a bar mitzvah. Okay, it's like a Bible, but they got one per temple. Okay, and it's walking down the row. And I just happened to be, sitting behind the kid. And before us were all his family. Okay? So all the people then are, if they're men, and it was all men that happened to be sitting in the row. So all men are confirmed Jews then. When they walked by, like when the Torah passed them by, they kissed the Torah.
Interesting.
It
Very
get
interesting.
it gets to him. It gets to him, and he goes and he kisses the Torah. And now I'm the first person it gets to before it gets to everybody else. So I'm like, fuck, what do I? So I kiss it. That wasn't the right thing to do. It stopped the ceremony for like 5 seconds. Took the air out the room. I had to apologize to the father. Yeah.
No fucking. And what did everybody else do after you?
Oh, they didn't touch it because they realized what was going on. They were like, if you're a Jew, or if you're Jewish, you do that. You know what I mean?
No
Not if
shit.
you're Cooper, not if you're fucking Cooper. But that's the decisions I find myself
You
in
could just
sometimes.
lie and say you're a Jewish Cooper.
No,
Cooper.
because I would have said I was so dumb back then. I would have said like I'm 1/4 Jew, and they're like, you can't be half a religion,
No.
dumb fuck. Because I'm pretty sure as a kid I used to say that because like my grandfather's girlfriend was Jewish. So I was like, that's the conclusion I drew. It's like I'm
That's it.
1/4 Jew.
That's your connection.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
man.
I don't know. Yeah. But explain to me about your day. Sorry. I went off on a little bit of a tangent.
That was a brilliant story, and I'm not planning on going to any bar mitzvahs soon, unless somebody who invited you to a. No, wait, it wasn't a bar mitzvah. What was it again?
A bar mitzvah, yeah.
Oh,
Bar
it was a bar
mitzvah.
mitzvah. Who invited
Yeah,
you to a bar mitzvah?
you definitely know. Some call him Cockstein. And that's not a race. And hey, let me say
No,
that
yeah,
to the
yeah.
podcast.
Yeah.
That's not a racist joke. That's
No,
what
it's
his
not.
finsta is. That is what his finsta is. So don't put that shit on me. I didn't come up
Yeah.
with that.
It's just
I'm not
cock.
that good.
It's just cock. Yeah, it's pretty funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
But it's one of those.
That's
One of
hilarious.
those.
That's unreal. All right. So for me today, I had the scare of my life today. Actually, and it's not what you think. I was hanging out at home today. My dad calls me and he goes, the puppies are gone. We have two puppies, two border collies,
Yeah.
Kobe and Cooper, obviously, as you know.
Woo!
Yep. And
I'm his godfather, right?
yeah,
That's
exactly.
fair.
Cooper's the godfather. He's sick. And I'm like, what do you mean? And he just said he was walking outside the shop and he turned the corner, turns around, puppies aren't there anymore. So we're all just like, oh, okay, so they got stolen. Because I think you'd probably get, if anybody wanted to steal my dogs, you'd probably get some money for them. They're border collies.
But do people do that? Like,
Like maybe
no offense, but don't you feel
we
like
were we
okay,
were a bit paranoid.
hold on. This is just the other thing I'm gonna say is don't you feel like I could also get the same amount of value for like your tires and you wouldn't really come looking for your tires. You're gonna come fucking looking for your dog. You're
Well,
not
yeah,
really
but
gonna
it's
come looking that hard for your tires.
harder to steal somebody's tires than it is somebody's
Fair,
dog.
checkmate. Fair. So keep going.
But so I ditched my last two classes the other day to go look for him in the middle of Pembroke, the next town over, and I was putting up posters all along the street that kind of went around my
Yeah.
dad's shop, and I was at like the end of the line, and a truck like whipped up behind me, and he pulled out in front of me. I went over to him, and he said that he had my dogs. So
Like had
he
them or had them?
no,
He had
he
them.
he owned a company in the corporate park and he was just driving around and I guess the dogs just kind of ran away. So he picked them up, took them to the Duxbury Animal Hospital, and for some reason the Duxbury Animal Hospital didn't recognize him, even though they've been in there like plenty of times. And he fucking
Nice.
yeah, he took them home and finally he saw one of the posters I put up. So GG.
Huh. That's a good. That's good then. That's
No,
good.
no. It turned it.
That is.
I was fearing for the worst.
Wait, but I do have one question. Did you then skip your one fucking day of high school?
No, I didn't skip the whole day. I skipped the 2 blocks.
No, but don't you only go in one day a week?
2 days a week.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah. 2 days a week.
Okay,
No,
that's better
and,
than if you were to be like,
no,
hey, that was my one day a week, and now I'm not going back in for another
and
4
I
days.
was online today, so it was like fuck it. I was at home. I was chilling at home
Oh, okay.
doing
Yeah.
school.
Can you
So
just do that whenever you want? Because, like, we could just do that here. Like, I just walked in and was like, I can't hear him, and it's not his fault, and it's not my
yeah,
fault.
there's
Let's
like
switch this.
technically there's nothing stopping you from being like cough. I can't come in because the rules are if you're showing any symptoms, you just shouldn't come in. That's like you know.
Yeah, if
So
you show any symptoms here, you got to quarantine till at least, like, Friday when they bring the testing kit stuff back, I think.
no shit.
I'm not 1,000%
Wow.
sure, but that probably. I mean, my buddy got tested last weekend off just like the 5% of our school a week that gets tested every week.
Oh wait,
And he
how'd he
just
do?
I don't know. He gets it back. I think he got it back today, but I just haven't really left my room because of, every fucking paper in the world.
Better safe
I
than sorry.
have never met I'm a kid who I didn't do high school, so I don't know how hard that was really. But oh my gosh, I could have never imagined that as a freshman in college, I'd be writing a paper about the flaws in the policing system for a sociology class in which there's a former cop in the class as a student.
That's very interesting.
Think about doing that this year.
I couldn't
Sometimes
imagine.
he's just like, I'm just going to shut up today. And then sometimes he's like, I can't shut up today. No, shut the fuck up. You with blue hair, shut up.
Honestly, this year,
Because you will have things where people will read the articles and they'll be she'll ask somebody, and I'm not being sexist, but 90% of the time it's a girl. And she's like, and she'll say, like, what do you think they did wrong here? And she'll be, everything. And then she will follow that up by being like, how would you tell them to improve it? And then they'll ask him what he thinks about it after he's like, well, no, this is what you're actually thinking about. This is actually what happens during a domestic violence call. These are the 4 outcomes. How would you like to handle it? And you're like, oh, checkmate. Checkmate,
Yeah.
28-year-old. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Check,
and he's not. Jeez, he's
checkmate,
on 28.
veteran. He's a fucking veteran. He's a veteran. Some girls are
Yeah.
still got the balls to talk shit. I'm like, no, I don't even want to answer a question in here. Worry,
Yeah.
I'm going to be disrespectful. Fuck that.
He's been through it. He's been like through it.
Yeah.
That gives him the right, no matter what you say.
Yeah. I was like, dude, whew, not today. Not today.
They've definitely, and I'm more than happy to have a debate about this with my great psychology teacher. But
Is it Mr. Mail?
no, I have Mr. Mail for American pop culture, but for my psychology class, I have Ocker.
I never had Ackerman, but I love Mail.
He's
Mail is
great.
like one of the top 5
Yeah.
people who just dropped a one-liner and just like changed my life.
Yeah.
It was
No, he's awesome.
when I'm working as the janitor, he just came up to me and I'm sitting there. I think I was fucking vacuuming the floor of the high school. And he just walked by and I guess he like talked to Antonio, the kid who was serving the suspension with me. I brought him up before. I'm going to have him on one day, definitely.
Yeah.
But so Mr. Mail walks by and he just like gets the story from Antonio and then walks by me and then he goes, I was like, well, I'll see you, Mr. Mail, because it was the last day I was working. And he just goes, I'll see you, Cooper. Always knew it would end something like this. And I was just like, wow, because that's not wrong. Like from the jump, he had told me, he's like, yeah, if you want to do comedy, go do it. But like, you got to apply yourself. You just sit there and just observe shit. You don't talk, you don't write, you just sit.
How about
I was fair. I was like, fair. I've always thought about that since. I was like, dude, that one guy was just trying to be funny. And like, I think about that shit all the time.
Mr. Mail lays down the facts. He's a very smart guy, and it's very interesting to hear him talk about like pop culture and stuff. Like
Yeah.
he reviewed like Kendrick Lamar's performance in like the 2018 Grammys or something, and he was just talking about it. It was very interesting.
Dude, and he's hilarious too because he works for the Boston Globe, so he did an article about how hard it is to do stand-up comedy. And like, so we talked to a bunch of people who own comedy clubs in Boston and then eventually went and did one open mic. And I remember like it was when he was doing that stuff and like he had done stand-up for us before, he would always make jokes at subtle shit. And at one time he was like, we were doing some exercise about lining up by GPA. And it was supposed to be like how we all knew where we were supposed to be even without talking to each other. Like we could generalize kind of, that we all made a generalization of who we were smarter than. But like to use somebody in the class as an example, he was like, all right, so, right's towards the window. That's the highest GPA. Left's towards the door. And he goes, so Cooper, you're all the way to left. Why don't you just step outside? And everybody was just like, oh, I'm like, yeah, this is what it's been like for 2 years. I deserve this and I fully understand it.
Oh my God. Mr. Mel's the best. I had him last year too. I'm so I switched into his class this year actually. I got the opportunity. I was like, yeah, I could do another half year with Mr. Mel.
There you go. That's a gem. That's a gem right there.
Fucking gem.
Yeah. No, I was kind of pissed because supposedly somebody, once I started religion, and especially because that was the one class I had in person. I'm shitting on religion class a lot today, and I got to stop doing that because I've done that in a couple podcasts now. But
keep it going.
I was like, I get in the class and I can't hear the dude at all, and I was like, all right, so I'm gonna change this. And my first thought was like, I'm gonna drop this. I'll take this later. Once I know how hard college is, and once I've had to deal with like a shitty subject and having to pay attention through that, I'll be better at religion. I'll be better at, not liking something but doing it. And so I was like, I'll drop this. And, there's my buddy tells me there's a class. Whoop, I think I just bumped myself with the fucking microphone. But there's a class here. It's an English class, which I don't have English on my schedule. So he's like, yeah, I'll take that. And he's like, oh, it's taught entirely over stand-up. It's like, oh, great. Dude talks to the teacher. He's like, yeah, this is a kid who, like, does stand-up. Like, he wants to join your class. Keep in mind, the class has 9 people, and it's on Zoom. It's not in person.
Like, yeah.
It's on Zoom. And every one of my classes on Zoom has 25. Or maybe it's like, one had 9 and one had, like, 18. And so I was like, all right. He was like, can he join? He was like, yeah, that'd be awesome to have a kid who, like, does it in the class. Go to the guidance counselor, and she's like, no, it's too full. I was like, oh,
shit.
cool, great. I'm paying $40,000 just for you to just say, go to that one again.
Yeah, don't go to the stand-up class.
Yeah, don't go to the class that is most helpful for you. And then I'm like, oh, can I take it next semester? And she's like, we don't teach it next semester. I'm like, fucking cool. Yeah, you guys are smart as shit.
That's something to get
It wasn't on every fucking paper I sent in over the past 3 months about information of most important fact, I do stand up. That's whether it was tacky or I want to be a comedian. It was just like, dude, come on, really? Can't you guys take my money any quicker? Jesus. Not to mention, you'll fucking get a burger on fucking white bread here sometimes. If you show up, they stop serving food at 8. If you show up 7, they don't got any burger buns left. They'll give it to you on white bread. Sometimes they don't even have fucking cheese. One night I showed up, it was so cleaned out, and they were just, and like, keep in mind, more food sitting behind them. They just have to put it in. And you're just, and it's not their fault. It's like a dude tells them they're done for the night. And you're like, can I just have another piece of pizza? And they're like, no. And it's like, all right, there's rice and zucchini in the whole building. You're like, yeah,
Jesus.
that and some yogurt will really hold me over. I don't know any fucking dining hall that closes at 8 p.m. and 7 on weekends. That's lunch. That's lunch after a hangover. 7 is lunch after a hangover.
They don't want you in that stand-up class because you'd be teaching that class, Cooper. Tell you what.
No, supposedly, because the dude Greg Dean, who, whether it's self-proclaimed or, like given to him by other people, he calls himself like the father of stand-up, or other people do. But he's like a former linguistics professor. So, like, I think there's something to, like, maybe he's never done stand-up. Probably hasn't if he's an English professor. But he definitely knows what he's talking about more than anybody else.
The guy that's teaching the class at Manhattan?
Yeah.
The father of stand-up.
No, not that guy. That's just a different guy from LA. But he's like a former teacher at a college. He's like a former linguistics professor.
That's interesting. Well, I mean, yeah, because who's I can't think of any right now, but there are plenty of comics who are very smart people. It takes.
Oh yeah.
I know you make fun of your own intelligence, but it takes a different kind of smarts to be a funny person.
Yeah.
I guess wittiness is what I'd call it.
Well, that's one thing to call it. Joking about your dick and balls enough to the point where some people call it witty. That might be a good sign.
Witty. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I do.
But you never know.
I'll make fun of my own dick and balls till they cry.
All right. So on the last note of Cooped Up, before we get fully into the basketball pod, I'll probably put this on the basketball pod too. I got one present for you. Let me just take the headphones off real quick. So let me describe to you. This is 3 times in doing it. Okay?
No.
Okay, I'll bring the light closer.
Way.
We tried. You basically made me look like more of an asshole than I could have ever imagined before. Because now, like, the first time, because everybody saw me buy blue hair dye. But then they just like, as I walked around the first time, because I've done it 3 times now, trying to get it bluer to make it. Hold on, let me put my hat back on. To make it more like I actually dyed it in an actual. Whoops, sorry. To make it look like I dyed it more in an actual bet. But it just won't dye anymore. So like the first time I did it, my hair was just highlighted silver. Like it wasn't highlighted blonde anymore. It was just silver. And it was
No
just like,
shit.
people were like, ooh, did you dye your hair like not because that bet, because you thought it looked good? And I was like, fuck, I have to do it again. And it won't look
No
anymore. Now
shit.
it doesn't look blue. It just looks like I put blue highlights in my hair like I'm fucking Ninja.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
And
what
not
I
even
wanted you to
well.
look like
It looks
Ninja.
like I did exactly what I did, which is
Oh
buy hair
my
dye from Rite
God.
Aid.
I have so much respect for you for doing that.
Yeah, it's tough. I'm gonna be wearing a hat for the future. I'm
I
gonna be
wish you
wearing a
the
hat.
best.
But in not
Oh
airing
man.
that, so that was based on the fact that I lost the bet to Harry Papp in the fact of who was going to, or how far for a fact it was going to go for the Clippers and Mavericks series. I mistakenly thought that I still think defense wins championships, but I fucked up in
Right.
thinking that the Clippers had a good defense.
Yeah.
And now I just come to realize I was wrong. The
No,
Clippers
so
aren't as
far
good
down the line.
as I thought I was. And so I will look it up, but you rode with the Clippers. So on the last episode of the podcast, which I didn't air because, school got so fucking crazy learning about religions, that, you said that you were going to rock with the Clippers. You were going to rock with however long the Clippers stayed in the playoffs was how long I kept my hair dyed. So
Oh yeah.
as a courtesy, I will give that to you I will look it up. From the time the Mavs won 2 games, how many days it was, how many days
Until they got
passed until they got eliminated. So they were
that.
eliminated on 9/15,
Yeah.
and they played oh, fuck. I got to wear it for, 31 days in a month, so I got to wear it for about 23 days, basically, because they lost on 8/23 to the Mavs, and it was tied 2-2.
Where for how long is it?
20. So I gotta wear it for 3 weeks. I'm gonna have to keep updating myself with highlights because it's gonna fade before then. But I will keep updating myself.
God, I love you, Coop. Jesus. 3 weeks. Wait, so how many? When did you like finish it? When
I
was
did
it
the
done?
last set today. I tried
No
today again.
shit.
Yeah, and I look
Um,
really like people. People are looking at me now because you got to keep in mind too. I'm mostly friends with people on the floor below me. So when people on my own floor see me, they're like, "Who the fuck is this kid that has hair dye in all the time?" Like who?
God, so they dye in his
Like
hair.
they're like, "Dude,
Uh,
he's got to explain a little."
you gotta like just put like a sign around your neck. Just be like, yeah, I lost a bet. Get
I'm
with it.
sorry, lost a bet
Yeah,
on the bet.
last bet.
Back on the other side, please don't hold it against me.
Yeah, it's not my fault. Have a picture of me, just like.
Mr. Papp. So, are there any? I mean, I don't know if you want to say it, but are there any other bets we're looking to make on this playoffs?
Like I would hate to lose while I'm ahead on the bets, but I think it's only right that I at least sacrifice myself on a bet. So you have an opportunity.
An opportunity.
Not that so it'd be easy for me to bet on the Celtics. But as somebody who watches NBA, as somebody who looks into things, I don't
Really?
know, Coop.
Oh, I didn't even.
I don't
We'll get into more of this on the next podcast, but we'll say right now, are you comfortably betting against the Celtics?
I am not betting against the Celtics. I'm just not going to bet on the Celtics.
Okay.
I'm not betting against the Celtics. No way.
We'll work on more figuring out, another bet if we can come to it, okay?
We'll see who gets the finals.
Maybe it'll be an NFL bet. We might work in some NFL content to the 4-point pod this year. Because Jesus, with the new look Patriots and the whole Murder Row Sundays, this whole league's going to get interesting.
I know.
Just half the fucking 49ers just ripped apart.
Vanquish.
But still beat the Jets by 17 or whatever, or 18 or whatever the fuck it was. Still Jesus, come on.
Like so much I can. My Christian McCaffrey hurt.
Oh, yeah. Wow. That was a bad one, too. But I do want to ask, what do you think, then, the ceiling is for Luka Doncic? Luka Doncic. God, I can't fuck up his name anymore. He's going to be an all-time great. It's like Giannis Antetokounmpo.
If I had to think of a superstar that, I don't know, kind of resembles his game in a little bit, and I think he's going to be even greater than this person was, but I think of how Tracy McGrady blew up so much in, 2004, 05, 02, 03?
Yeah.
Tracy McGrady, the way he blew up, but I think he's going to be able to sustain that. I can't see with all the new medical developments, I can't see them letting Luka Doncic just get ruined by injuries. I mean, who's the last person who got ruined by injuries?
T-Mac also. T-Mac was ruined by injury, towards the end. Maybe the prime was cut short. But let's not get this twisted, okay? This will be the final notice on Cooped Up. I don't want to let this go by. T-Mac also was he was a little bit of a choke artist there. Sorry for the little ball gag I just did into the microphone, but
no, it's all right. Well,
let's not let it slip that he blew a 3-1 lead at one point.
To who?
I don't know, but that's how Doc Rivers blew the other one. Was when he was coaching the Magic.
Oh, that's the one that they talk about.
That's another one, yeah.
Well, I don't think Luka Doncic is going to be a choke artist if that's true.
No. But right now, okay? In all-time rankings, at the end of their careers, who would you bet's higher? Kevin Durant or Luka Doncic? God, fuck.
I think KD will be surely because he's gonna have 4 by the time he's done, maybe 5. So
yeah.
And I don't think Luka Doncic. I don't think. I mean, look at who he's gonna have to face. Whoever comes into the fucking West, he's gonna have to face every time he wants to get up there. I mean, he might take it. Mavs might get fucking Giannis for all we know. So,
yeah, we'll see. I guess good answer. Responsible answer there. Unlike my fucking